Hi, thanks for stopping by to color. Today we are going to be working on this super cute Magnolia image called Jester Tilda. I will put a link down in the description box to the card kit and all the supplies I use. I would love to have you come shopping with me. Also, if you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and do that so you'll get an update every time I upload a new video. So I have already stamped my image on Nina 80-pound solar white cardstock with Memento Tuxedo black ink. So let's color. So let's start out by outlining our image with C0, and I'm just going to quickly go all the way around the outside of my image. Nothing fancy. And if you do it first, that way if you get some on your girl and you want to erase it, it will be a lot easier than after you've colored her all the way in. I usually don't worry about it if I get some on her, because it's such a light color after it dries that I don't even notice it's there. I'm just going to go quickly all the way around. I love this little hat, isn't that cute? Just work our way back around to the other side. And she's got a little dip right here where you can see the background in between her hair and that little curl. So I'm going to color that in. And between these little bells. Back down here along our stick. And then also she's got this little space right in here between her body and the stick that we're going to want to add some shadow to. Now let's give her something to stand on. For the ground I'm going to use W4, W2, and W0. I'm going to take my W4 and I want to go just a little bit past where the bottom of her foot is, so she doesn't look like she's just standing on a straight line. And I'm going to add a little bit of my dark color all the way across. Same over here, I want to go up past her sole a little bit. Then I'm going to go with W2. And then W1, and you can make your circle as big or as small as you would like. And then after I have it outlined, I go back with my W4 and put my dark shade back in so that it's got a little bit more contrast. So now let's move on to her skin, and for that we're going to use E11, E21, E00, E000, and for her cheeks I'm going to use R43, R20, and R30. So I'm going to start with my E11, and let's just go down here and add a little dab underneath of her little pants ruffle. Go down the inside of her pant leg here, or her leg, and then I want to bring this line from her knee over. Same for this side. I'm going to go underneath that ruffle and then down the inside, and then same with her knee over here. I want to go underneath that and bring it over to the side. Then I'm going to grab E21 and I want to touch down on top of my E11 and then flick away from it and bring more color out here onto her leg. And I'm going to bring this color down here a little bit onto her shoe. Same for this side. Let's flick away from our E11. Then I'm going to grab E00. And we're going to bring that color over here onto her leg. And then I'm going to finish it up with my E000 by going all the way across. That just smooths everything out for me. And if you wanted her legs to be darker, you could just go back over those a second time. Next, let's hop up here and do her arms. So again, I'm going to start with E11. And I want to go underneath the cuff of her sweater here. And then I'm going to come down. I'm going to give this her thumb a little bit of a dip right here. And then over here, we're going to go, she's got a little indent from her thumb right here, so I'm going to exaggerate that. And then come around the bottom of her hand over here to the side. Then I'm going to grab E21 next. I want to remember to flick away from that E11. And bring some more color into our hand. Now I'll grab E00. And I'm going to leave the top of her hand white. And let's leave the middle part here white a little bit. And then we'll fill it in with our E000. And go up here and do her face. So again, we're going to start with E11. And this time I'm going to go underneath of her bangs. She's got a little bit of her forehead showing right there in between her little bangs. So I want to make sure to bring this color up into that. And then we're going to come around. And I'm going to go about to the middle of her chin here with my E11. Oops. Next I'm going to grab E21. I'm going to soften that edge, so I'm going to flick away from my E11 out here into her face. Let me turn her a little bit here. And then I'm going to bring this all the way around to the other side. I'm going to go with E00. And I'm not worried if it's not blending all the way, because after I do her cheek color, I like to come back and add another coat. I'm going to go with E000. And then for her cheeks, I'm going to grab R43. And let's make them really rosy out here on the edges. Next is R20. And then R30 just to soften the edge just a little bit. Okay, and then I like to go with my E21. I'm going to grab that. And let's add some color here on the sides. I'm going to go on this side too. And then E00. And then E000, clear across. And then if you wanted to pinken her cheeks up a little bit more, I would add a second coat, but I'm liking those, so I'm going to leave it just like that. For her hair, I'm going to use E33, E31, and E30. I'm going to start with my E33, and she doesn't have much hair, so you want to use it very sparingly. So I'm going to start up here at the top of her hat and just give it a little brush of color right along the edge. And I'm going to go across this side. And then I want to do a little bit here where it's kind of curling next to her face. And then her little curly Q. Same for this side. We want to do a little bit here where it's curling in next to her face. And bring our curly Q out. And then I also want to do a little dab along the bottom of her bangs. I'm going to grab E31, and we want to just add some more color, so let's go up here at the top. And I touch down on top of my E33 that I just laid down, and we just brush away from that. Go all the way across. And then we're going to fill it in with our E30. And then I like to go back with my darkest color, which was E33, and just add a little bit more color back in. So I may go down further with my stripes, my streaks, than I did the first time, just to give it a little bit more, some more lines in there. Now let's work on the red areas. For that we're going to use R17, 14, and 12. Let's go ahead and start over here on this little stick she's got. And I'm going to start with my R17. And let's start over here on this side. And just bring a little bit of color in there. Okay, then I'm going to go with R14. And some of these areas are pretty small, so if I've filled them all the way in like I did that one, that's perfect. And then because 14 to 12 is such a jump, I'm going to grab my R12. I'm going to pick up a little bit of color on the end of my R12 from my R14. And then I'm going to use that color to fill in the rest of my little stick here. And if you run out of color, you just pick up some more. And get a little bit more over here. Okay, I'm liking that. So now I'm going to go Let's hop down here and do her shoe. So again, I'm going to grab my R17. And I'm going to fill in this section that you can see behind the stick all the way in because it's such a small spot. And then over here, I want to go on the front side of my little stick. And I'm going to work my way across the sole. I also want to cut, she's got a little bit of the bottom of her shoe showing. I'm going to color that in. And then let's do this color on the other side of her pom-pom of her shoe. Like that. Okay, and then this side, we're going to do the bottom. And again, I want to color in the bottom of her shoe. Let's bring that color over here. And then we'll do the back. And she's got a couple little wrinkles here that I want to exaggerate. And I'm going to go with R14. And I'm going to color in this side of her shoe. And then we'll bring this color up. And I think I'll bring this over just a little bit more. Okay, and do this side. Okay, and then again, because my 12 is so light, I'm going to grab some of my 14 on top of my 12. Grab more for this side. Cute. All right, so let's work our way up. So let's go ahead and do her pants. So I'm going to leave, on the bottom of her pants, she's got a little ruffle, like at the bottom here. I'm going to leave that for the gold. And then these little pleaty things in the middle, I'm going to leave those for, those are going to be blue. So the rest of the pants we're going to color red. So let's start up here and do underneath of her shirt. That. And then let's go underneath the waistband and exaggerate these little wrinkles she's got there. That. We'll do the V of her pants. And then I want to add a little bit of color along the bottom of the pants. So let's do a little dab down here. And a little dab down here. And then underneath on this ruffle on her pant legs, I'm going to do just a little bit underneath in the shadow there. Then I'm going to grab R14 and I'm going to color in the waistband. And then we just want to go over the color down here on the bottom, add a little bit more of this color, use up some more of our space. Kind of go up in between these little pleats. And let's add a little dab more down here. And I'll bring this down just a little bit more. I'm going to color in this top section right there too. Okay, I'm liking that. Okay, so now I'm going to take my R12 and tip it off of my 14. And we're going to try to be, I'm going to try to be careful not to color in any of those little pleats with my red here. Because it's pretty squished in between those. And work my way over here to the side. Okay, those are looking pretty good. Well, maybe I do a little bit right here. I don't want to get too crazy and color those little pleats in, so I'm going to leave it like that. And then let's go up here and do her collar. So again, I'm going to grab R17. And let's do underneath of her chin, across our little collar. And over here, it comes up to her hair. So I'm going to go ahead and color that all the way in. Okay, then for the bottoms down here, I'm just going to take my pen and kind of give it a little bit of dark color down into each one of these little sections of her collar. Like that. Nothing fancy. And then I'm going to go with my R14, and I just want to add a little bit more color on top of that to soften it. So again, nothing fancy. Okay, and then I'm going to take my R12 again and pick up some of my R14 and fill the rest of that in. And she does have a little ruffle or edge on the edge of this little collar that I'm going to color gold. So I'm trying not to get my red inside that. She's got a lot of stuff going on in her little outfit here. And then let's do the hearts too. So I'm going to go ahead and grab R17 and do the bottom of my hearts. And then I'm going to fill them in with R14. And they're pretty small, so we're going to have to be careful. Okay, she's looking good. So next we have her cute little hat. So let's grab R17. And for this side over here, I'm going to fill that in down here. She's got a little dab of her hat showing underneath right there. Well, I guess I could have made that hair, but now it's hat, so I'm going to go with that. And then I'm going to take this color. I'm going to brush that up just a little bit. And she's got some great dots the artist put on here already, so I'm just kind of using those as where I want to add a little bit of this darkest color. Okay, up here. And then this side. Just work our way around to the other edge. And then over here, and she's got a little bit of her hat showing underneath this curl right here. And I want to bring this color along the edge of her hat. Okay, now we're going to grab R14, and we just want to soften that. So we're just going to brush right over the top of that last color. Okay, and then we're going to take our R12 and again put it onto our R14 and fill in the rest of our areas. And up here you got a little bit more space, so you'll be able to get a little bit of your R14 and 12 mixed and then get the light color going out at the end there when it runs out. So I'm going to turn my pen here so I can get some more red on this side. Next, let's work on the blue-green area. So for that, we're going to use BG 72 and 70. Let's start down here on our shoes with the BG 72. And I'm going to bring that color right along the edge. And she's got a little bit of a ruffle or a little space there that I'm going to color gold. So I'm not doing this little trimmy thing there. I don't know what to call it, but there's a little bit of a line in there that I want to keep white. Same for this side. I'm going right along the edge of that white and just leaving it for later. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my BG 70, and again, because it's so light, I'm going to pick up some of my 72 and use that medium color I've created to fill in my shoe. Same for this side. And if you're worried about it staining your pen, I don't ever worry about it. You could color your dark color onto a CD case or a piece of acetate or something, acrylic block, and then pick the color up off of there, but I never stress about that. Okay, so then we're going to use this color on these little pleats on our pants. So I'm going to start with my BG 72. And color the tops and the bottoms of each pleat. And then again, I'll grab my BG 70 and pick up some of my color. And fill them in like so. That leaves us with this wonderful sweater, or her shirt top. So again, grab your BG 72. And let's start on this sleeve over here and brush some of this color away from the bottom. And then we're going to do the same for this sleeve over here. We're going to bring this color up here and away from the bottom of our sleeve. I'm going to come up in this side between a ruffle there. I'm going to color that whole bottom section in. And then for the middle of her shirt, let's do in between there. Let's bring this color along this. She's got a couple of little wrinkles there that I'm going to exaggerate. And then again, I want to come in between this little accent here. And then brush this color out like so. And I think I'll actually do a little line right down this white ruffle and underneath of my heart, just to give it a little bit of a shadow. Okay, then again, we're going to grab our BG 70, and we want to pick some color up off of our BG 72. And bring that color down along here. And then I'm just going to bring my lightest when it runs out. I'll bring that up to the top, and I'm going to do up here, add a little bit of shadow up next to the line here. And let's do the other sleeve. And just work your way across the whole shirt top. And then we'll do bodies here. And I use some, you may have to turn your pen a little bit as you're grabbing color off of it, because it kind of sucks it up off there and it loses some of its color, but it will refill itself after a little bit. So don't worry about that if you're pulling it off your pen. And then I forgot her cuff over here. So I'm going to take my BG72 and then fill that in. So that leaves us with the gold. So for that we're going to use Y28 and Y23. Now let's go down here and start on the pom-poms on her shoe. So I'm going to go with my Y28 first. And then I take Y23, fill that in. I'm also going to go ahead and touch this little white line on her shoe with my Y23. And then her pants. Okay. And then let's work over here on her stick. So again, I'm going to go with my Y28. Go up here and do some of these bells. And then we'll go with Y23 to fill those in. And let's do these bells up on top of her head too. So again, Y28 first. Add a little bit of dark down on the bottom. And then Y23 to fill them in. And that leaves us with our cute little cuff here on the top of her shirt. So grab your Y28, and I want to add some color here in each of these little cracks, or in the little creases. And then I'm going to fill it in with my Y23. And I try to go over the Y28 too, just to give it a little bit more of a yellow tone instead of being quite so dark. It'll lighten it up just a little bit. Add a little bit of gold in there, light gold. So there is our beautiful Jester Tilda all colored up. Isn't she cute? And again, here is the finished card. So I have added some Sharpie white paint pen to her cheeks. Remember, when you add that on there, to shake it with the lid on before you start applying it. And then I put some Stickle Stardust on the pom-poms and on the little bells up here, and then again on the little hearts for her collar. And I also used some, what did I use? Antique Linen Distress Ink around the edge of my girl here to make it have a shadow. And I cheated and put it back into the Spellbinders die, but you could take a Post-it note and just set it along the side here, and then do your distressing, and then pop it right, tear the little Post-it notes off and put those on there. But I hope you had fun coloring with me today. If you have a question, leave me a comment and I will get back to you. If you love this kit, head over and grab it, because remember, they are limited, so when they're sold out, they are gone. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.